How to find your worth without a man. So often we've been brought up and brainwashed by society to believe that women need to find their worth in men. We've been brought up to believe that our worth is in finding a partner, getting married, and if we don't do those things, then that means there's something wrong with us. We're a weirdo. That's not true. It's bullshit. Your worth is not based on a man. You came here as an individual. You were born here alone and you are going to die alone. I know that sounds a bit serious, but it's true. I don't know how else to say it. And I had fallen a victim to this before myself. Society puts so much pressure on us women to make it even our purpose and our goal in life to seek a relationship. So when we don't have that, we question our worth. And this is dangerous. It's dangerous because what happens is you will end up settling in a relationship because you're desperate, because you think you're not good enough. So you take anyone, any Tom, Dick and Harry. And this can happen because you feel like something's wrong with you. So you end up ignoring the red flags in a man because you're desperate and you're needy and you feel like your time is ticking. So you need to grab anyone and you settle. And that's why, my lovelies, my dears, it's so important that you find your worth without needing a man, because you are worth it. You are worth it on your own. You're an individual first and foremost. Sometimes we may find ourselves alone. So when you put your worth on someone, what's going to happen when you find yourself in that situation? That's why we need to remember that we are individuals first and foremost. And yes, relationships are amazing. They're beautiful. We are human creatures. Of course, that's what we want. Who doesn't want love? It's beautiful when you see couples together, loving and hugging. Of course, but what I'm trying to tell you is there's so many of us that we desperately seek relationship. We desperately seek a man to the point we forget our worth. We put all our worth, our purpose in life, our goal in life to find a man that we forget that, hang on, I am a person. I am an individual. And then what ends up happening is we rush to find a man and then we later discover that, oh dear, there's so many things wrong. That's how people end up in the wrong relationships. Quite often it's because they've rushed. They've been needy and desperate and they just settle. And that's why it's so important, my lovely, that you find worth in you as an individual first. The ironic thing is when you stop seeking out there for validation and approval, when you stop seeking validation from a man, that's when you become attractive AF. That's when you are going to get the right men who are pursuing you, because you're not desperate. Nobody wants someone desperate and needy. It's attractive to be someone who can be in their own frame. That's what's sexy. I want you to realize that you are worth it on your own, that you don't need to seek it in someone else. I know we've been conditioned and brainwashed in our society that you need to find your worth in someone else or else you're not a whole person. But it's not true. So in this video, I am going to share with you 5 ways that you can find worth without needing a man. So let's get straight into it. Point number 1 is, in order to find worth without a man, in order for you to feel good enough, in order to you feel like, all right, I'm good. I don't need a guy. That's the place we want to get to. Point 1 is to do the inner work and healing. And I know, so many of us may have we've heard this all before. Inner work, it's all over the internet. But hear me out. For me, inner work is about unlearning everything that you have learnt. What does this mean? I mean unlearning all the BS limiting beliefs that you have told yourself about yourself because it's not true. Unlearning the belief that you have told yourself that you are not good enough, you are not pretty enough, that you need to be like this and be like that because that's what society has told you. Unlearning. Doing the inner work and healing is about accepting your flaws, understanding that no one in this world is perfect. We've all got things, we've all got stuff that we're not happy with, that we wish we didn't have, but accepting it, coming to peace with your imperfections. If you can do that, that will be a game changer for you. When you can accept your flaws, you take the power back and no one can hurt you. No one can hurt you if you accept your flaws. It's a bit like those people who walk around with so much confidence and we know that they're not perfect, but they accept it. That means we have to accept it. They've got the power. When they're okay with their flaws, we are okay with their flaws. And that's the way you have to see it. Coming to terms with your imperfections, understanding that no one is perfect, and that's okay. And owning your imperfections, because that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you who you are. That's what makes you beautiful. Why do we want to be like anyone else? Being unique is so underrated. Being weird, being quirky, I love that. And you need to tap into that, discovering who you are, unlearning all those limiting beliefs, going down that journey of healing, learning to forgive, because this is what's going to set you free. This is what's going to make you feel like you are worthy. You don't need someone else to make you feel worthy. You are worthy on your own. When you go into the danger of seeking validation from men, this means that every time you go through a breakup, you're always going to jump from one relationship to the other. That's how some people get into that pattern from jumping to relationship, because they cannot be on their own. They're so scared. They cannot be with themselves because it frightens them. It frightens them to be with themselves because they don't think they are good enough. They constantly need someone to make them feel good. And that's why they end up being in the wrong relationships anyway. They're in a cycle of they're in a cycle of breakup and then they find someone else. We know those people who seem to always just be in one relationship to the other because they cannot be on their own. They don't find their worth in their own. They need it from someone else. So point number 2, to treat yourself with love and care. What do I mean by this? I mean, as humans, we often want attention, we want care, we want love, we want to be cherished. That is normal, my lovelies. We want to feel like we are looked after, and it's nice to have that feeling from someone else. Of course it is. When we're having a bad day, who doesn't want a hug? Of course we want that, right? But we can forget that actually we can make ourselves feel good. We can make ourselves feel lovable. We don't always need to seek it in someone else. We don't need to seek it in a partner. When we value something, we treat it, we cherish it, we treat it well. And that's how you need to see yourself, as something valuable. And you need to start treating yourself as something that is cherished. You need to start loving yourself and treating yourself well. How are you treating yourself? Ask yourself that question. How are you treating yourself really, truly? Are you treating yourself with love? Are you treating yourself like you actually, the way you would love someone? That's how you need to treat yourself. You need to learn to make yourself feel good. I always say this, other people are going to treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. Some of the ways that I find that I treat myself, that I make myself feel good if I'm having a bad day and I don't have to pick up the phone and ring my ex to cheer me up, is I treat myself to nutritious food. I make sure that I'm giving my body what it needs, because I know if I take care of my body, then my body will take care of me. Health is wealth and all that. And other ways is by treating myself to nice clothes. I love clothes. It makes me feel so good. These are some of the ways that makes me feel good if I'm having a bad day or if I need just like a lift me up. Think about the things that you can do. Remember that people are going to treat you the way you treat yourself. And it's important that you treat yourself as something that's valuable, that's precious. When you start seeing yourself like that, you will get that reflection in the world. Moving on to point number 3 is learn to be happy alone. I know I am an advocate for being alone. It's because, my dears, my lovely, this is when I have seen the most transformation in my own life. And I don't mean go and isolate yourself. Don't ever see friends. Don't ever see family. Don't ever seek a relationship. No, this is not what I mean. Let's not get this twisted, okay? What I mean is if you are someone who is seeking a partner, seeking a relationship, but you're cool. You're not desperate. You're not needy. You're going to enjoy this time being alone. So often, not many of us make the most of this time being alone, because this time alone, OMG, it can change your life if you make it. It's down to you though. If you do absolutely nothing, mope around and complain that you're not in a relationship, then you're not making the best use of this precious time. You may not get this time ever again. How to find your worth without a man is enjoying your time alone. This is the time that you find out and discover yourself and all the things that you enjoy. Find your passions, find your hobbies. I think we can forget that even if we are in a relationship, it doesn't mean that you're going to be with someone constantly like this, joined at the hip, right? If you are that kind of couple, well, okay, each to their own. If that's what makes you happy, look, I'm not judging. I'm just saying a healthy relationship is when two individuals come together. It's when two individuals come together to be on a journey called life together and help each other on their individual journeys and merging, right? Being happy alone is understanding that happiness is your own responsibility, not someone else's. It is yours. When you realize that happiness is your own responsibility, you take the power back. It means even if you are in a relationship, that person may have a bad day, but you still know how to make yourself happy, because the reality is people are going to go have their ups and downs. And when you're constantly relying on them to make you happy, then that means you are going to be up and down when they are feeling up and down. And you don't want that. We don't want that. That's not healthy. You're not going to be relying your happiness on someone else who's having a terrible day, because you know how to make yourself happy. How do you make yourself happy? It's by finding your passions and your hobbies. It's finding your purpose in life. So many of us, we live a purposeless life. And that's what makes us miserable. What are the things that give you meaning in life? Are you doing those things? What are the things that bring you joy and fulfillment? Are you doing those things? Because that is what makes life so much more fruitful and interesting. When you find things that you really deeply care about and feel passionate about. It doesn't have to be something like going to the space, or discovering the latest science technology. No. It can be simple as finding things to do in your own home that bring you joy. It can be crocheting, it can be knitting, it can be doing art, it can be dancing. So many things. And this moves me to point number 4, which is to fall in love with yourself and your life. When you fall in love with life, it means you fall in love with yourself. What do I mean by this? I mean, when you start falling in love with yourself, that's when you will discover, oh my gosh, like there's so much to do in this world. Like I want to do so much and there's not enough time. And that's when you will stop seeking validation and your worth in a man. That's when you won't need to find your happiness, find that thing that is missing in you in a man, because you know that there's so much that you need to do, that you want to do, that you want to discover, that you don't even have time to realize that there's a gap in your life. Of course, from time to time we all feel lonely, but the point I'm trying to make is falling in love with yourself is falling in love with your life. It means that you find your worth in other things, and it doesn't have to be a relationship. It means you find your worth. Maybe you are on a journey towards a great career, towards creating a great career for yourself. Maybe you are working on projects that need your time and attention for it to grow. Maybe it means that you are learning an instrument that needs months for you to focus on. You can find your worth in your talents and your skills. It doesn't just have to be a relationship. We have so much more to offer in this world than just being in a relationship. We are needed for so many things. You know, there's communities, there's charities. Your worth can come from giving. It can come from the service that you provide to the people around you. Your worth does not have to be just from being in a relationship. Of course, if you're in a relationship, that's amazing. But my point I'm trying to make is your worth and your value as a woman doesn't have to be just from a man. Us women, we have so much to offer, and it's our responsibility to tap into those skills and talents that make us flourish, that make us feel powerful and confident, that we can find. If we don't look for it, we're not going to ever find it. So I really encourage you to find the things that lights up your soul. That's how you find your worth without a man. And we all have it. We all have those things that make us feel great and amazing, whether that's a passion project, whether that's dancing, whether that's cooking, whatever it is, you can find your worth that's not based on a man. And it's your responsibility to find those things. And point number 5, my loves, my dears, finding your worth without needing a man, it's about committing to a self-discovery journey. You know, this journey, self-discovery, self-mastery journey, it's one of the greatest journeys that we can be on. We are constantly going to be learning about ourselves for the rest of our life. And it's really important that you commit to this journey. You commit to learning about yourself, growing, and understanding that we are going to have the bad days. We are going to have days that we fall off and we don't feel good about ourselves. But it's so important that you show up for yourself, that you show up. So let's say you missed one day from the gym. Instead of thinking, oh, right, that's it, I missed one day, I'm going to now miss the rest of the week. No. You pick yourself up and you return once you feel better. Showing up for yourself is so important, because when you keep showing up for yourself, when you keep reminding yourself that you are on this journey and you are going to have bad days, you will eventually start believing that you are worth it. You are worth it. Understanding that you are committed to this journey, that you value yourself, you see your self-worth, that you don't need to seek externally out there for your validation, that you are enough on your own. Once you can be at that place where you are happy and at peace with who you are, this will be a game changer. This will change your life. This will bring you so much peace for the times that are difficult when you have got your own back. This means that you won't settle. You won't settle for in relationships. You won't settle for any other parts in your life. You want the best for yourself in life. And why shouldn't you? We only got one life. Why shouldn't you want the best? We all deserve the best. You deserve the best. I want to leave you with this quote that I love. I saw the other day. When you know who you are and pleased with the person, you'll experience a sense of peace through life's ups and downs. You will believe in yourself regardless of whether you've been fired, divorced, or don't get a job promotion. I really hope you found this video useful. Share your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. I hope you're all doing really well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. I'm sending you my love. Bye.